Okay, so we have two new cards to talk about, and what I'm going to do is give you an overview of the card, and then give you a rating of the card, and let's just jump into it. So we have Kazakus, Golem Shaper, and we have the Primordial Protector. Now, both of these cards look very interesting, super cool, and I'm excited for both of them. I'm going to jump into it right now. I think this Kazakus looks like a 5 out of 5 star kind of card. It's actually broken. If it's anything like old Kazakus, which is still played in 12% of wild decks with a 56% deck win rate roughly, this card is going to be good. Even if it's not quite as good as this and is like 80% of what this is, it's still going to be like a 5-star card, maybe 4.5. And essentially, what this card does is Battlecry. If your deck has no 4-cost cards, build a custom Golem. So, the ability is slightly different than old Kazakus, which said your deck has to have no duplicates. He was basically a Highlander card. This one has no 4-cost cards, probably because Highlander already existed, and they wanted to have some sort of deck building kind of thing around it. It's niche, but they didn't want it to be Highlander again. So I respect that, and the ability is quite good. So what's going to happen is you're probably going to choose, it's going to give you 3 options as your battle cry when you play it: a 1-cost lesser golem, a 5-cost greater golem, and then a 10-cost superior golem. And what will probably happen is your choices will revolve around some keywords, maybe a stat bonus like give the golem +2/+2 or something like that, and or a battle cry. And there are a lot of different directions that these cards can go in, so I don't know how many options each golem will have, but I think that it will be a very good card. I think that the golems will be slightly weaker than the spells you got from Kazakus, but that's only because you'll get stats on the board from the golem itself, whereas the spells in the past didn't really do that, right? Some of them did. Some of them would allow you to summon a minion, but those spells usually ended up being a little bit weaker because obviously you got board presence, and that's basically what's going to happen with Kazakus. However, I will say right now that the fact that it will be Battlecry based stuff or keywords means that it'll probably be a little bit more flexible as well. So I'm really excited for Kazakus. I think he looks like an amazing card, and I cannot wait to try him out because this looks busted. What I'll probably use most is Greater Golem. Just to give you a 5-drop right after Kazakus. I feel like that will just be the most realistic one for me, just to keep up the tempo. The next card is Primordial Protector. Battlecry, draw your highest cost spell, summon a random minion with the same cost. Now this is very similar to Spiteful Summoner. Spiteful Summoner says reveal a spell from your deck, summon a random minion with the same cost. It was a 6-mana 4/4, and back in the day, it was really, really good. It was in several different decks, and then eventually became a mostly just druid card because it had some ramp and you could get to this more consistently. And you ran this with the 10-cost card, Ultimate Infestation. It was a 10-mana, deal 5 damage, summon a 5/5, gain 5 armor, and draw 5 cards. So basically it was a 10-mana, do everything kind of card. I don't think that there are that many cards in the meta now that are as good as this as good as Ultimate Infestation, and I think Spiteful Summoner at 6 mana is better than Primordial Protector. I don't think Primordial Protector will be as good as Spiteful Summoner, which was, in my opinion, like a 4.5 to 5-star out of 5-star kind of card. I think this will be a 4-star card because it's a little bit more niche and it's more expensive, so it'll be harder to play. But the difference is you draw this spell. So I could see this being used in maybe a mage, potentially. I was going to say Highlander mage, but that's not going to be a thing anymore. But like some sort of control bigger mage that also ironically will probably run Kazakus. And you'll draw, the puzzle box, right? Or you'll play this in Druid and you'll get a survival of the fittest. Or any other deck with a big card. You could play this in Warlock, potentially, and draw a Twisting Nether and get a giant minion that way. Like, there are a lot of different combos that I can see with this card, and obviously people are very creative and they will make a good deck using this card. However, like I said, since it's 8 mana instead of 6 like the Spiteful Summoner was, I think it's going to be a little bit weaker, but you get to draw the spell, which means that if you do reach the late game, you'll be a little bit more consistent. And the one thing that I have to say that could make this card better than 4-star is the fact that it looks like the meta is slowing down. A lot of the cards that have been released recently look fairly slow and kind of control based, which means I think that you will reach turn 8 more consistently. I think the average length of games will increase a little bit, so I feel like it could do really well. Also, it'll probably just do really well in Ramp Druid, because you can just ramp up, and instead of, say, guarding animals, you just play Primordial Protector, automatically draw your Survival of the Fittest, and still get a good amount of tempo. So overall, I think the deck, or this card, looks pretty solid, very solid even, and Kazakus looks like he might be one of the best cards of this set so far. Well, I think he is the best card of the set so far, and might be the best card all around. So we'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one when cards are released shortly.